Good morning and welcome back to the channel. So it is a terrible weather day in Scotland. It's Saturday once again, a week since the last film, depending on when the film was actually went out, but it was filmed on a Saturday. So still off a structured training program, but still riding the bike and training, as I'd mentioned in my previous film. So today we're just going to do a little bit of Zwift this morning. We've got a busy day today because I'm only having one day off this week. So, and when I say a day off, I mean a day off from doing other things. It's not actually a day off. So this morning we're going to crush some training on Zwift. Now I'm going to go into this training session completely fasted. The last thing I had to eat was 5:15 yesterday. So that's quite cool. Now this is for a specific reason and I'll cover that off just shortly. Apologies, COVID here once again. But as of yesterday, where I live in Scotland, the region I'm in, it was on a tier 4, which is like lockdown but without being called lockdown, if that makes any sense, and probably not. So basically we've went back to tier 3, so the shops are opening and hopefully I can get rid of this mop because I need to start to tidy myself up a little bit and make it all polished and nice. So yeah, we'll crack on with that later on. So it's going to be a Zwift training session and I'll cover that off as soon as I get changed. So let's get changed and get on. Okay, so that's us ready and changed, so let's go jump on Zwift and explain why I'm doing a fasted ride. Alright, so see you in a mo. Okay, so that's us now on Zwift. Just warming up, super easy, super easy. My heart rate's only 107, my cadence, which is the speed revolutions on the bike, it's like 103. Sitting at like 160, 170 watts. Oh, we're up to 214 now. And just warming up. Just started the ride, so we'll warm up. So, as I was explaining earlier about training fasted, okay, so basically what I'm trying to do, even though I'm not carrying much weight, is you have fat, you know, even the skinniest, most lean person in the world has fat, has body fat. And basically, you know, cycling, you use a lot of carbs, glycogen, that's your fuel store. But Tour de France riders, endurance cyclists, you know, to make your body more efficient, you want to be burning your fat, using that as your fuel source, switching over to use your carbs for that end sprint, that end hard session. Now, please do not quote me on this. Everybody is different, but this personally works for me. Every person's body reacts differently. Do not use this as gospel nutritional advice. I've done a lot of experimenting and this is what works for me alone. It may not work for you, okay? So because my training volumes have been reduced, and as I've said, as I've went off the structured training program just for a little break, I've been really focusing on diet. I mean, like heavily, because of the training I was doing beforehand. Yes, I eat healthy, but you know, I would rely on like carbohydrate, etc, etc, and what could quite often happen with that, if you're out on a long endurance ride, is you bonk. Now you may be wondering what bonk means. In terms of cycling, fitness, running, bonk doesn't mean this.
Hold it.
Bonk actually means, in terms of athletic and fitness, it actually means your body's used all of its glycogen, its fuel store, and it then has to switch to use fats as its energy store. And what quite often happens is when you make that transition and you're not used to it and you haven't trained your body to adapt to it, what will happen is you get what's called bonking, or hitting the wall.
I think in fact Armstrong has absolutely hit the wall.
Well, you know, every top cyclist has a bad day. It's up to the other riders to find out when and hit him when it hurts most. And it looks as though Ulrich is very surprised by the fact he has distanced Armstrong, because Ulrich himself was in trouble at the start of the climb. He appeared to be talking to Virenque, and he was certainly looking at him.
I don't think they can believe what is happening. Everybody thought this man was superhuman. Everybody thought that he was a man who was unbeatable. But right now, Phil, he is proving that he is immortal like any of us. You know, if you have a bad day in the mountains, you can lose many, many minutes. And Armstrong, for the moment, is going to have to relax, have to be calm, and have to try and make sure he doesn't lose too much time.
And your power drops off, you become very slow, your speech may become slurred. It would almost be a feeling like being drunk, hypoglycemic. But if you train your body to make that transition, that drop in performance that you experience when you change over, so it'd be like using your diesel or petrol car and you've got that gas tank backup switching between the two. So basically, you become more efficient. When you're using the fats, you train your body to use more of the fat store, and you use the glycogen at the end when you really want to give it the beans or bury yourself. So I'm ultimately training my body to become more fuel efficient and become unbonkable, ultimately. So, nearly 5 minutes into the warm-up now. Just spinning super easy. Now, disclaimer, I am not fit at the moment, and when I mean I'm not fit, I'm fit, but I'm not fit for myself, Speedy Clark, Tim Clark, fitness wise. For my expectations from my own body and physiology, I'm not fit. So my functional threshold power over 20 minutes has probably dropped down to, I think a week ago it was about 268 watts, and my expectation for my body weight would be over 300 watts, around about the 300 watt mark. I fluctuate between 60 and 62 kilos currently at this moment in time, despite my training volumes being reduced. I'm actually really light, and that's because I have been focusing on my diet. So as I said, I do eat quite healthily anyway, but it's been like rice, broccoli, you know, water, nothing, trying to cut out anything bad. But as I said in my film last week, Saturday is eat what I want, and that's only usually in the evening. So, and when I say eat what I want, I am still careful and paranoid about what I eat. So it's a pizza, a homemade pizza. And last week we did have the gluten-free pizza, which my wife made from scratch, and it was amazing. I don't take any bread, normal bread. If I do eat bread, it's gluten-free bread, and it's actually the gluten-free bread which the company I work for make, Genius. So Genius gluten-free products, check them out. They are super good and really good for your gut as well, so check that out. Okay, we're going to crank it up now, and see you shortly. Okay, so that's my Zwift training session complete, just 40 minutes. Sorry if we're steaming up a little bit, it's just the heat from the body in the cold garage. It's freezing, there's no heating in the garage. Zwift did do a very strange thing, and it shut down and then restarted. I don't know why that's the case. It keeps coming up with a script error. I did Google it very quickly just after the session, and apparently it's something to do with a recent update. So not sure if anyone else is experiencing that problem, but the power did keep dropping up and down. But my 20-minute power there was 263 watts. I wasn't doing an FTP, I wasn't going flat out. My heart rate was like 166, which, you know, it's fine. Overall average power was 232 watts for 40 minutes, so which is like kind of zone 2 to 3. Yeah, alright, that was okay. So coming back slowly but surely. I'm not overly concerned because I know when I go back onto the structured training program, Expresso Cycle Coaching will prescribe me, they will have me crushing it again in 8 weeks. 8 weeks to get super fit without too much of a problem. I'm between 5 to 10 hours training per week. So at the moment, just enjoying cycling, getting the love back into it again, and then focusing on my diet, focusing on becoming more fuel efficient in terms of burning fats instead of glycogen. And then we'll get back onto it. So thank you very much for watching. If you have any queries, leave a comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.